You're ready, guys.
You know Jeff Goodman?
I do know Jeff.
Does he know what he's talking about?
What do you say?
Picked you for the Final Four?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Do you want me to reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, which one am I answering? All right. You know, listen, we've got a lot of talent. We're just really young and inexperienced. We got a lot to prove. You know, it's great what everybody says, but the only truth and proof is what happens in that court. And we'll have some great opportunities this year, and we're just focused on getting better every day. Doesn't matter, get better. Doesn't matter, get better. Very simple.
With a young team, would you rather have maybe a little bit easier opponent to start off the season with, or do you like jumping in the deep end?
Just jumping in the deep end. You know, you're playing one of the great programs. Their program, what he's built has been incredible. They've had great runs in the NCAA tournament. They play in a great league, and you know, all we're trying to do is figure out how we can become our best. And the only way that you can do that is play against the best. And we've kind of had that philosophy the last 3 years: play any time, any place, anywhere. And you know, you learn a lot about your team. And so we're excited about the opportunity.
What will Quade bring to this team when he's on the floor?
Quade is a guy who, in high school, he could score. You know, he was a guy who played in a lot of big games, played at Newman Goretti, and he just had the ability to win and score. And later in his EYBL career, which is the Nike circuit, he led the EYBL in assists, which is, one of the best grassroots programs, and, he can make other guys around him better. And so you got a guy who has had a year and a half of high major college basketball. He's had that experience that we're missing. He's played in a lot of big games at a great program, and, he can come and help with that experience with our guys.
What do you think it did for him to have the time last year that he did with you guys, just to be around you guys?
It's been huge. It's all, connection, understanding players. I wish, he was able to, play in Italy, which he wasn't allowed to do. But, he's got a lot of practice reps, understands the guys, been in the locker room, got a great work ethic, and, he's going to be great for us, great leader.
Can you tell me a little bit about his intangibles? We haven't been able to see him much, but sometimes he seems, what I have seen, maybe an intensity, maybe a little bit of an attitude, a little bit of anger.
Well, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, that's who we are here at University of Washington. He's got a lot of grit. He's got a lot to prove. And he likes to win. And that's the greatest thing about Quade is he can make others around him better. And then if you need him to score, if other guys aren't doing it, he has the ability to score. I think he shot 42 or 43% from the three-point line at Kentucky, averaged 9 points and right around 3 or 4 assists a game, and I don't know the minutes. And so in a major program in a major league, he's proven it. And so that experience is really going to help us.
And when we saw Thursday, how's it going to look different with Quade out on the court?
Arguably your best shooter on the team, a guy who can make open shots. He can space the floor, really good in transition, and he makes the game easier for others. So, I thought for the most part after our game, after even watching film, I thought we shared the ball exceptionally well, and he brings that same element. It just, you add another guy who can really shoot the ball, and when that clock's going down and you need somebody to make a play, he has the ability to be a playmaker, and, helps you.
Did you learn anything from Baylor's game against Syracuse in the tournament?
Yeah, I've watched it last year, watched it this year. We are playing a lot of more man-to-man. We think that we will. But we've watched them. Like I said, they got a great program. They've got a great zone. They've switched. It's a team that was struggling earlier last year, came out and ended up ending on a great note. They shoot a lot of threes. And they got one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And so it'll be a great test for us. Great opponent.
Do you expect to be a better defensive rebounding team this year with all the size you have now?
I expect that. I expect we've got big guys at all positions, but again, it's a mindset. You got to have 5 guys going back in that paint with the guys that they got. Vital is as good an offensive rebounder as I've seen he's relentless on the glass. He's got a nose for the ball. They've got a few of those guys, and it's going to be one of the keys of the game is being able to defensive rebound.
Why is it important for you guys to add more man defense this year?
I don't know. I just think it becomes, there's certain teams, and again, it's not for every game. I just think it's every team's a little bit different. That some people can beat you off the bounce. Some, you're playing zone, they beat you with the pass. They move the ball exceptionally well, and they can get comfortable in the zone. It's always nice to be able to go to something different that takes away the rhythm of the game and maybe one of their strengths. And so, being able to have that as a weapon in our arsenal, I think, is a great addition to how we play.
Do you have an update on Marcus's health after the exhibition?
He's obviously got hit pretty hard and still recovering from it, but he should be available soon.
This has been described as raw. Is that a fair description of him? And just kind of when you got to go look back at the tape, what did you see from his first game?
I don't see raw. I see unselfish. I see elite. I see playmaker. I see and just an incredible player. And obviously, we all have to get a lot better, but boy, the things that he does on the court is pretty special, and just an elite player.
It's unique to have a guy like that. You talked about it after the game that likes to bang in the post and just be physical. At such a young age. Is that unique?
I love, there's, you look at college basketball in general, is all the big guys want to shoot threes now. And to have a guy that can really be effective around the basket and score and post and, get fouled and be a difference maker is just, I think it's a luxury. Everybody talks about paint touches. When you've got a guy like Tim Duncan or something like that, you're going to him. That's an advantage. Two guys come to you, double team, they can pass out, they make others around them better. It's how we play. So, having that guy is just huge for our success. Love it.
You mentioned Baylor's three-point shooting, and three-point defense was something you were unhappy with against Western Washington. What do you guys need to do better in that area?
I think at the end of the day, sometimes, especially young teams, you get a lead and you kind of take things for granted a little bit. I don't want to put it on that, but we got to be better. We got to be able to play for 40 minutes. And it doesn't matter if we talk about DMGB, it doesn't matter if you're up 20, down 20, you got to play the right way all the time. And I think we're going to have some of those growing pains through the year. We just got to stay on them, coach. Almost every possession until we become really, really consistent. And the kids have been working hard. They have been learning a new system, and I think they've been doing really good at it, but still a long way to go.
You had a chance to play a lot of guys. Have you figured out some combinations that really work, like maybe Sam with certain players works real well, maybe Elijah with certain players on the floor work real well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we haven't put it in stone yet, but you want to get to a point where guys know when they're coming in and when they're not, when they're coming out. You get kind of good rotation going. The thing that's going to be really, it's an incredible thing is our 10, 11, and 12 could be as good as our 7, 8, 9, and that's in different situations. It could be rebounding, it could be defense, one could be scoring, one could be shooting, and so I think you're going to see that. But we need the consistency. I think when kids get they're consistent, they know when they're getting in is when they're going to play their best because they're going to be comfortable playing, they're going to be comfortable in the moment, and that's what we got to get to. But we do have a lot of different combinations of players that we've been able to test and I think can help us win games.
Is Jamal Bay more of a spot shooter from three, or is he kind of a guy that can catch in rhythm? And how is that different for a player?
He's a guy who just makes shots. He's a very good open shooter, but really exceptional ball handler. He can drive. I mean, he's big. He's big and strong. And when you're able to get a punch like that coming off the bench, where a guy can come in and impact the game like he did in the last game, that's a luxury. He could start it. Almost every program in our league probably, and when you have that, you got a chance to be really good.
Going up to Alaska, anything special planned? I know that sometimes they're learning events, but anything out of the ordinary?
Well, the greatest thing is, you're going to, an Air Force / Army base, and you just get the opportunity to go and interact. We're doing bowling with the families. We're doing basketball clinics. It's a great learning experience. With my experience with USA Basketball, I think the most fun thing was doing the clinics and being around the soldiers and understanding that, it's the greatest example of selfless service and teamwork. And, getting exposed to that and seeing it right up close, living inside of that, I think is a great education for our guys, and will be something that they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives.
You remember going to the Great Alaska Shootout in 2000?
I do. It was a snowstorm. And I remember we were going, being from Syracuse, that snowstorm was nothing. It was like, yeah, this is a layup. This isn't bad. Bring it on. But I do. Great basketball fans, and I think it's going to be a great experience for us.
The young team, how do you balance them just being aggressive and yet being patient in their, in them learning and maturing?
Every day you're trying to get better. We'll watch the film, and then you come back and this is where we need to, focus. This is where we made mistakes. This is what we've got to correct. And they're going to make mistakes. That's going to happen. It goes back to how quickly can we get to the point where we're not making as many stupid mistakes per se. You're trying to get to where you're really, really consistent. You know where the ball's going to go. But I think the most part with this team is the way that we share the basketball. We've got so many options, so many ways to go, and if everybody's unselfish, you're going to get better shots. When you get better shots, you're going to shoot a better percentage. You have good court balance, and then obviously try to become an elite defensive team. If we can do those two things, we'll be a tough team to beat.
You guys good?
Free throw shooting, is that a concern for you at all going into the season?
No, listen, at the end of the day, some days you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. At the end of the day, we work on it every day. We do our little 40-minute shooting groups where they come in, they get their reps. We've got a lot of guys who've made foul shots throughout their career, and, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all.